Macaron, chocolate cake, hot gulab jamun, kaju katli, fruit salad. If it's a snack, then fruit salad. Hi guys, I'm Pooja Dhingra. I'm a pastry chef and the founder of Le15 Patisserie. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to answer all your baking related questions, things that you've been too afraid to ask. Yes, you can make a cake without gluten. You can use any nut flour. So I like to use almond flour a lot, and locally I also like, so I have this mix. I do ragi, bajra and rice flour together in the ratio of 4:4:2. The thing to be mindful when you're using a substitute or alternate flours is that they have a very strong taste. So you want to mask that with maybe a fruit essence or vanilla helps. Ooh. So I think that how do you make biscuits crisp? It's very important that you get your oven temperature right. You use the right kind of baking tray. It's put in, each oven heats differently. So I think it's very important to kind of monitor the heat. And what I like to do is halfway through the baking time, I take them out, rotate the tray, and then put it back in. Baking powder and baking soda are very different. So baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. Well, they both are leavening agents, so that means they help your cakes rise and get nice and fluffy and all of that. Baking powder already has sodium bicarbonate in it, so it has an acid and it has a stabilizer. But baking soda needs an acid to work, so that's the difference. And I basically, depending on the recipe, so if I have buttermilk, etc., I use soda. If I don't, then I use baking powder. Yeah, I think cakes can be healthy and delicious. You just have to find the right balance, the right ingredients, and we make some really delicious healthy cakes. So it really depends on what you're aiming for, right? So I would normally maybe use a different kind of sugar substitute. So, use jaggery instead of using sugar. The kind of flour that you use. So instead of, regular maida, use almond flour or, another kind of flour. And yeah, the idea is to just find the right balance in your recipe. So nut flours help, natural substitutes help. So the crater actually is just air that's escaping, right? So air bubbles in your cake actually help your cake rise. That's the science of it. And what your leavening agents do is make the size of the bubbles bigger. So when it goes to bake, the bubbles become bigger, it rises, and then it escapes. So craters are not necessarily bad. They actually just mean that your cake has risen. And then you always have frosting or ganache to cover them. So just cut the top off and then fill this up. Eggless cakes do rise. I think it's also because they are just denser. But I've actually written a whole book on it, not plugging it at all. It's called Can't Believe It's Eggless, and I answer all your eggless baking questions there. The egg taste in any cakes is actually just adding a little bit of vanilla essence, so that really helps masking that egg flavor. So the first thing I would tell you to get is measuring cups or a digital weighing scale. I highly recommend a weighing scale because baking is precise, it's science. So this is number one. Then, three things that I can't live without is obviously my spatula, my whisk, and this little guy at palette. So you can save a cake after it's baked, but it really depends on how bad you messed up. If it looks bad but it tastes good, you can obviously just, save it, rescue it. What I did a few years ago, 12 years ago, when I made this eggless cake that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, I just broke it up and I layered it in a bowl with, chocolate ganache, and it was delicious because, it still tasted good. But yeah, that's something you'll have to taste and then give a call. So obviously fruit salad is an ask. I'm going to talk about dessert indulgence, right? Macaron, chocolate cake, hot gulab jamun, kaju katli, fruit salad. If it's a snack, then fruit salad. Salt just kind of brings out the sweetness in everything, right? A little bit of salt releases the flavors, it balances out. So in all my recipes, I always add a little bit of salt. I would say when you are, it's not really a hack, but what I recommend to everybody before they start baking is to obviously read through the recipe completely, because you don't want to reach midway and realize you're out of ingredients, to measure all your ingredients correctly, to use the right kind of tin, to make sure that you get to know your oven well, because your oven is your best friend. And yeah, I mean, things don't go to plan. You just like fix it, you put some ganache on it, you put some sprinkles, and you make it pretty. If you have more baking related questions, you can follow me on @Pooja Dhingra. And if you like this video, don't forget to go to Freak India, like, share, subscribe.